Hey TVC Kids, we are back and we are ready to start part 5 of the Squire and the Scroll. I hope you've watched the first 4 sections that told you everything that's going on, but we have a little Squire and he is off on his own in this adventure because the knights have all failed because they were not pure of heart like the Squire. So he has a scroll that his parents gave to him that have 5 rules, right? And those 5 rules have kept him safe and helped him along this whole adventure. But now, he just found the knights that were frozen like statues, and he hears this. "There is a price for the lantern," the voice hissed. Do you want to see who it was? Oh, there it is. You see the big, ugly, nasty dragon. That dragon has stolen the lantern of purest light from the kingdom. And now it's up to him. "What price?" asked the Squire, facing the dragon squarely, though his heartbeat thundered in his chest. Would you guys be scared? I would be totally scared, but he knows he has to do it. "Your scroll," snapped the dragon. "Your scroll is my price. Give it to me, and I shall return the lantern to your people." But the wise Squire, he did not believe the creature, for dragons are known to be untrustworthy. Remember that if you ever face a dragon. "Give you the scroll which has served me well all my life? Never," said the boy. As he spoke, the ground began to tremble and crack, fire and brimstone steaming up from the deep places of the earth. "Give me the scroll!" shrieked the dragon, drawing itself into full height, or you will be consumed by flames. "The scroll has always served me well," answered the boy, "and it will serve me now." Are you ready? Hey, remember what we said the scroll was like for us? You guys remember? His scroll given to him by his parents with wisdom in there, rules to follow. What's that like for us? Like our Bible, right? All right, here, listen to this. He said, "The scroll has served me well, and it will serve me now." And indeed, as he pulled the parchment scroll from his belt, the scroll was transformed before the young man's eyes into a fearsome, double-edged sword. "For the lantern and the scroll!" shouted the Squire, and he plunged the sword into the dragon's body. Oh my goodness, you want to see the picture? He is one tough little Squire, isn't he? When the Squire pulled the sword from the dragon's lifeless form, it immediately became a scroll again. As the dragon sank into the burning chasm, the figures in the great hall began to move. Do you remember who those were? The knights, right? Those with lifted arms now seemed to be stretching like a long sleep. Oh. The knight, who was with the Squire at the beginning, he came to himself and he knelt before the Squire, begging his forgiveness. "I could not guard my eyes," said the knight, ashamed, "but you kept yourself pure, so I promise to you my reward. For my life and for my kingdom you have honored." Wow, that's pretty different, isn't it? He was the big, most famous, strongest, bravest knight, and the Squire is the one who saved the day. The Squire helped the knight up and embraced him. He remembered the reward that his parents have spoken of. "We are brothers," said the Squire. "Forgiveness is yours." Here's the picture. So it was a sword in the last picture, right? And now it goes back into be the scroll, and the knights are all coming back to life. And the knight that he went with said, "I'm so sorry, please forgive me." And what did the Squire do? He forgave him. What a processional all these long captured sons made behind the Squire as he returned to the castle. So here he was, the Squire was leading all these knights for all this time. All these brave knights had been captured, and the Squire led them home, leading them all on the right path. And when the travelers came to the tunnel, do you remember the tunnel of light where all those jewels were? It was open. Remember before that, the stones had blocked it, and the lantern shone the way. The evil images had now disappeared, and the gems fell from the walls as a treasure to be gathered for the king and his kingdom. Here's the squire leading the way with the lantern. So cool. The celebration that followed the squire's joyous return was unlike any the kingdom had ever seen. Kneeling before the king, the squire was knighted. Just what he wanted. He became a knight, as he had always dreamed. "Let us never forget," the king said to all who were present, "how the scroll has served us, and how this good knight returned our lantern because of it." So because he followed the scroll, because he followed those words, the lantern was back. Because of his bravery and his devotion to the lantern and the scroll, he will have my daughter for a wife and rule my kingdom one day. He's going to become the king one day now. For who better would guard the lantern of purest light than one with a heart kept pure? He kept his heart pure. A shout went up from the people, for they were in agreement with the king. So here he is, being knighted, and someday he's going to become the king. Beyond knighting the young squire, the king instituted a new order of protectors, the Knights of the Lantern. The knight who had trained the young squire became its captain, and the men dedicated themselves to the words of the scroll. Finally, they were following the scroll, right? And the defense of the lantern. It became the goal of many young men of the kingdom to live by the scroll and to one day serve the king in these positions of honor. So basically, they put together knight school, right? And so they were learning to be knights, and they were becoming knights, but they were following the scroll the whole way. As for the knight and the princess, they could not have been happier, for the princess had devoted herself to the words of the scroll as well, so they were a delight. And when the two were gifted with a son, the knight taught him from the scroll, just like his parents had, so that one day he would be ready to defend the kingdom and the lantern. For who knows, but then another dragon might arise in this young boy's time to come steal the light. How can a young man keep his way pure? By living according to your word. That's Psalm 119:9. Here they are. It's a good happily ever after, isn't it? But that young boy would someday be king and rule the kingdom by the scroll. All right, guys, that's the end. I hope you had fun listening to this story. Bye.